Hey guys, welcome to the review show. My name is Asa. Anora stars Mickey Maz. Anora, a sex worker from Brooklyn, gets her chance at a Cinderella story when she meets and marries the son of an oligarch. Once the news reaches Russia, her fairy tale is threatened as the parents set out for New York to get the marriage annulled. Who knew an actor from like a slasher film could act really well? Mickey Madsen is a standout in this movie. She does an amazing job playing as Anora, or aka as Annie. That's what she mostly goes by throughout the whole entire film. And she plays a sex worker who meets this rich kid that's played by Mark. I have no idea how to say his last name, or even his character's name. So I'm just going to call him Rich Kid or Mark throughout this review because I'm just going to make it easy for myself. I already struggle enough with words as it is. Meets this rich kid on the job, and next they kind of really hit it off. And the kid likes her so much that he is willing to pay private sessions with her, like outside of the strip club, I guess you would call it. I have no idea. I've never been to one. Besides GTA. Does that make me sound sad? Maybe. So they hit it off, and the chemistry between these two actors are amazing. Even Mark, that plays this rich kid, he is actually really funny and has a lot of charisma to his performance, that I honestly kind of slightly liked his character, even though he's kind of a fucking douche. So I liked him in that kind of way, and he had a lot of fun. Mickey deserves a lot of the credit. She really holds this film up and is just a really good standout. But the whole premise of this film is that these two young people end up getting married, and the rich kid's parents end up not really liking this because it went against like everything that I guess they stand for, and they felt embarrassed by this. And so they sent over these, like, I guess, Russian security guards that are supposed to be watching over this rich kid, and they are trying to get this marriage annulled while the parents are coming to New York, and end up during this situation trying to contain both of these two young adults. The rich kid, he ends up and runs away and abandons Anora, and she's kind of stuck with these Russian security guards. She's forced to help them find this rich kid to get the marriage annulled, even though she doesn't want to. Most of this film takes place at night, and Nora is forced to go out with these security guards to find this rich kid. And so you're seeing them go through like different like locations of, I think is LA, or is it New York? One of the two dumpsters of a city. No offense to anyone that lives in New York or LA, even though you guys have a lot of issues when it comes to rent prices. That's pretty much the premise of the film, and I really liked the setup to the film before the whole entire situation before the marriage trying to be annulled segment of the film. I really like how they were setting up her character and some stuff that they were hinting at her like character's like past or like personal life. Next, seeing her get confused about this whole entire situation because of her getting married, and these Russian security guards are like freaking out too because they're afraid of losing their jobs, and they're scared of like these Russian parents that they're kept like their profile of themselves were pretty much kept hidden until the end of the film. So you're kind of like wondering like, oh, are these like a Russian mob or anything like that? Created this interesting, fun dynamic between the security guards and Anora when everything went down. And after the point of where everything went down, that's kind of where the film starts to fall off for me. So I really liked the first, I guess, hour of the film. I would say it took a bit to get to the marriage being annulled. I think maybe like a 40-minute mark around there. It turns into nothing but these characters bickering at one another, and I found that really annoying. It was kind of funny at first because Anora was like in this confused situation. She doesn't know what's going on. She's like, why can't I not be married to this person that I air quote love? And we'll get into more of why I'm doing this air quote later. She's kind of freaking out, and she's kind of like fighting back against these security guards, and during this encounter the security guards are kind of afraid of her. So it made this funny dynamic between everyone, but that turned out to be the whole entire film of them just constantly screaming at one another, and that got annoying after a while, and like nothing really built between them at all. And especially with this one security, like this Russian dude that was part of this whole entire situation, going out and trying to find this rich kid throughout the whole entire night. They were always panning over to this guy, and showing that he wasn't really comfortable with this situation, or he wasn't feeling right with this whole entire situation. And I was hoping that they would add something to it. They kind of do towards the end, but not enough to feel satisfied or justified for this whole entire movie's last hour half. Like there's so much stuff that could have been edited out or changed around because none of the characters really talk to one another. You don't really get an understanding of Anora's character besides that she really likes money and she has some form of like disconnection with her family and doesn't really, I guess, like her roommate that much, I guess. But besides that, there isn't really enough to make me care about her character, and she becomes very unlikable towards the end of the film. And maybe that's the point, that you're not supposed to like her character, but towards the end, the movie really asks you to feel bad for her. And I'm like, I kind of don't really. They don't really build up her character. You don't get any information really about her besides that you know that she's a sex worker and really just cares about money. And this is the reason why she got married in the first place. For 100%, was definitely not for love. Like she married this guy because he was paying her a lot of money, and she knew that she could probably just get his money straight up just marrying him, even though it wasn't her idea to marry him. It was more of his idea to marry her. But she used that basically to her advantage to get more money, out of him practically. And throughout the whole entire film, she's like, no, we're not getting a divorce. We're not getting an annul. I love him. I'm like, okay, is she just using that as like a BS to get away, like to get out of this situation? But no, she truly was in love with this guy. I'm like, you guys never really bonded over anything. Nothing really. It's like I don't buy that at all. It just didn't make any sense. The only thing that they really bonded over was literally sex. And again, I probably make that point a lot in these reviews when it comes to any form of romance. But literally here, there is no bonding over one another. Literally, they only bond over sex. And literally, like you see her like trying to teach this kid that is just constantly fucking horny and just going and doing his thing during sex, and she's like has to teach him to slow down a tiny bit. And I'm like, that's literally like the only thing that they bond over. So she taught him to take his time during sex. That's the only thing. And so I never really bought into that she fell in love. So I thought they were going to make it a point in the film that no, you weren't really in love with this guy. You were just blinded by his money. And so I thought someone was going to call her out for it, and no one really does. She does have this conflict with her coworker somewhat that is hinted at throughout the film. She did something in the movie that was completely off screen that upset this coworker, and so this coworker became jealous and hatred of our main lead. But besides that, it doesn't really add anything to the film. You could literally take her character out, that it's adding a little bit of conflict to our main lead. Take her out, doesn't really change any of the film. It doesn't change out the outcome. It doesn't change how you really feel about the character and how the movie wants you to feel about the character. And that's kind of my issue with the movie, even though it's really funny. Like, I found Deadpool Wolverine funny as hell, but at least that movie was still emotional. It just came uninteresting after a while, and I wish that they've done more. I thought they were going to dive a lot more into her character, but they just don't. And this whole entire situation with the Russian parents coming in and be like, no, you're not approval. You're not worthy enough to be married to our son. And this whole entire build-up is like, oh, who's this guy's parents? Are they Russian mobs? Nope, they're just fucking assholes. It's like, oh, okay, nice build-up, I guess, to absolutely fucking nothing. It didn't become interesting at all. And this whole entire Cinderella pitch idea is basically the Russian parents. That's like the only thing that is really related to Cinderella, but barely. The movie's a lot of fun. It has great cinematography, great set pieces, and a lot of great actors in this movie. With Mickey Madison being a high standout in this movie. She is a fantastic actor, and I hope she gets more roles. And most likely she's going to get more roles from this movie because it's getting a lot of positive reviews from people. It's getting a lot of positive word of mouth. It seems like I'm the only one that is not giving this movie the full-on credit that people think it is. I mean, that's kind of how it is with me and Smile too. Like I'm definitely in the minority, so I'm definitely in the minority here. But I don't think this movie is awful. I'm gonna give Anora a C+. Had a good time with it. I just wish they added a bit more effort to the story side and gave me a more insight to Anora's as a person, and more insight to what everyone's motives was, and more insight from the parents' side too. There's so much that they could have done that they just left on the table and just kind of just put out this almost generic film. Anyway, guys, let me know your guys' thoughts down below on Anora if you have seen it or not. It's not fully out. I know it comes out, I think, fully on November 1st, but I think it has its some like select theaters already out. So if you guys have seen it, let me know your guys in the comment section below if you agree, if you don't. If you guys enjoyed this review, leave a like down as well. Subscribe if you're new, because I do more movie reviews, show reviews, even commentaries, and have a monthly podcast. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Like always, I'll see you guys next review. Bye, guys.